Hey y'all, this is Sergeant Dan with Palmetto Edge. So what I have for you today is the Benchmade Bailout. So what we will do is, like I always do, we'll start out with some size comparisons. Let's get it up against the uh, Paramilitary 2. How about its brother here, the Bug Out. And let me get it up against something a little smaller here, just to kind of give you an idea. Here's the Para 3. All right, so there we go. Now let's knock some specifications out of the way. This is an overall length. Of course, all measurements and weights are not including my little lanyard that I've added on here, okay? Overall length is 8.07 inches with a blade length of 3.38 inches. Let's see, it is CPM 3V steel, which we'll get to the steel here during the review. There's a little bit of controversy going on with that. If you're not aware, I'll just briefly mention that or tell you what's going on with it. Tanto, FRN, I guess scales. I guess you could call them scales. It's basically what the whole thing is. It's got a, I believe this pommel on the end here is aluminum. I think. I might be wrong about that. I think it's supposed to be, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. It kind of feels like aluminum, looks a little bit like aluminum, but either way, it's tough. I've used it a little bit. So, axis lock, of course. Let's see what else. Deep carry pocket clip, a low profile deep carry pocket clip, and this is right hand or left hand tip up only. So got the lefties covered with this one. It does have a Cerakote on the blade. It's kind of this gunmetal gray metallic sort of thing. Looks really cool. Let's see. I don't usually talk about weight with knives, but because one of the big deals with this one is because it's so lightweight, I will mention that. According to Benchmade, this weighs 2.05 ounces, which is just a little bit more than the Bug Out, and that's because there's a little more material than the Bug Out. You got a little more handle. You've got this extra little piece here. You've got a little more blade, so it makes sense that it would weigh a little bit more than the Bug Out because there's it's very exact same or similar materials. There's just a little more of them. Try not to let the Bug Out get too far away here because I'm sure I'll be bringing it up more and more. Let's see, made in USA, just like all Benchmade, so that's always a big plus. So yeah, I guess that's it for specifications. So let me get into the review. When I first saw this one, I thought it was really cool looking. I was like, I got to get one of those because I love the Bug Out so much. Haven't really been a big fan of Tanto-shaped blades. Here lately, though, I've actually gotten a couple of them. Another one that I've gotten recently here is my Ultratech, and I love it. So yeah, Tanto blade shapes are really starting to grow on me, and that is definitely the case with the Bailout here. My intuition was right. I said I got to get one of those because I love the Bug Out so much, and I love the Bailout just as much. Okay, it's an awesome knife. It's lightweight. It's sturdy construction. It's smooth. I got no blade play whatsoever in any direction. Solid lockup. Quick, smooth deployment. You can do like I've been doing, flick it open. You can, if you're coordinated enough, there we go. You can use your axis lock here to get it open. You can open it slow and gently if you want to. Okay. This one is made to be, a more tactical knife than the Bug Out is. Okay. That has to do with the steel that it's made from. 3V is a really good steel, not very corrosion resistant, but it's a good, strong steel. But to help with the corrosion resistance, they've got the Cerakote on it to certainly help with that. It's a Tanto blade shape, which gives it a really strong tip, and they got this swedge on the top here to really help with that tip. So I mean, this thing can slice, it can cut, it can penetrate. It's really awesome. You got this pommel on the end here that I have actually used a little bit. I mean, I don't beat the heck out of my knives, okay, but it's there as a feature, so I have tested it out a little. What I used it to crack some nuts the other day, okay, and it worked just fine with that. Some pecans. So yeah, the just like with the bug out here, okay. Like I mentioned in my review of it, there was some guy that I saw on YouTube who complained about it having that cheap plastic sound. Well, guess what? This one sounds exactly the same. There's people that have complained about the scales having some flex in them. Well, guess what? These do too, okay? And to me, that's kind of a good thing. When your scales are so thin, they're so lightweight as this, you don't want to use some kind of a hard, brittle plastic, because that's just asking for it to break, okay? If you want this to be a hard use knife, you want it to be something that gets hard and heavy use, you want this plastic to have some flex to it so that it doesn't crack and break and tear up, okay? So to me, the flex in it here is not a bad thing. So yeah, I mean, I have really found myself carrying this a lot more than I have been my bug out. Partly because it's new. It's still got that new knife smell to it. You know what I mean? So that's partly the reason. Is because it's new. I haven't got tired of it yet. The newness hasn't worn off. So I mean, I might go back to switching between the two or something eventually. But I love this one just as much. I like the length of the blade. It's like, as I showed you, it's a little bit longer than the bug out. I really, really like that. Just that extra little bit is, I don't know, it gives you just, I don't know, just gives a little more cutting. I mean, of course it gives more cutting edge, but I like that it has that little bit extra. One thing I do like about this one over my bug out, and this is nothing, nothing wrong with the bug out. It's just the particular model, is that it doesn't have the serrations. Now they do make this with serrations, okay? So if that's your thing, then guess what? They make one with serrations, and they make this without serrations, okay? This one was a gift. I absolutely love it, okay? Only thing I've said I would change about it is a standard edge without the serrations, and that's what I got with my Bailout here. Let's see. Usually with Benchmades, you have to kind of tweak on the pivot a little bit before you to make yourself happy with how it performs. I didn't have to do that with this one. This one was absolutely perfect out of the box. Blade centering is spot on perfect. Okay, I think I mentioned already, but no blade play whatsoever in any direction. Now let me get to the deal with the steel. They use 3V on this, which, like I've said, it's a perfectly fine steel, and the way Benchmade has done it is perfectly fine, okay? There's a little bit of controversy going on over someone that's done some testing on the blades, and they're not coming up within the HRC range that 3V should. And Benchmade has come out and said, well, yeah, we didn't heat treat it, you want to be serious about it. Benchmade pretty much fessed up to, yeah, we didn't heat treat it properly so that it wouldn't get up to that hardness level, so that it would be easier to sharpen in the field while still maintaining a good edge and strength. And I'm okay with that. I'm not a total steel snob, okay? I do understand the difference between, Alsate and Elmax, okay? I totally get that. But, when Benchmade said that they didn't basically heat treat it properly so that it wouldn't get up to those hardness levels. I kind of get it, okay? Now then, on the other hand, you go, well, you could have just used a different steel other than 3V and treated it properly. But, you know, for what this knife will be used for, generally, even someone like me, even in my line of work, it might get some tactical use at some point in its life, okay? But we're not talking about chopping a limb off of a tree with it or stabbing it into paint cans or okay, nothing crazy like that where the hardness would matter, okay? I mean, the most it might get from me is maybe cutting a seat belt or having to pry on something a little bit one day, and even at that, I don't know that I would use this knife for it, okay? I usually keep a cheaper knife on me for, come on, focus. I usually keep a cheaper knife on me for when I have to do stuff like that. But, even someone in my line of work where it would get some tactical use at some point in my life, in its life, the hardness that it has, the way Benchmade has done it, is absolutely fine, okay? So that's my stance on that. Let's see, what do I not like about it? To be honest with you, I'm going to say about the same thing that I did with the bug out here. Is there's really not anything I don't like about it. I usually try and find something about a knife that I can complain about, but there really, really isn't anything with this one that I can complain about. Maybe if this were a different time in my life when I was a little pickier about the Tanto blades, I might would complain about that being the only blade shape option, but I really like it. I really like it on this knife. So yeah, I mean, truly, honestly, I personally, how I use it, how I know it could be used in my possession, all those kind of things, I've really, honestly got no complaints about it whatsoever. It's just, to me, I love it just as much as I love the bug out. And if you haven't seen my review of the bug out, go check it out. It's another one that I'm just in love with, got no complaints on. So this falls under that same category for me. Now, price, this one is a little bit more expensive than the bug out. Again, I'm going to bring the bug out back in. I told you I was going to keep it close for a reason. This bug out is right at $120. No, this one's right at $140, I think. The other version that has I can't remember if it's satin or stonewash blade and the blue handles, those are about $120. I think this one's about $140. The bailout here in this configuration is right at $145. Okay, so we're not talking about a huge price difference between the two. So at that price, am I happy I bought it? Absolutely. If something happened to it where Benchmade's warranty wouldn't take care of it, would I replace it? Absolutely. This one, like I said, here comes the bug out again. This one has, for me, been put up on the same pedestal with the bug out here. Guys, if I'm having a problem with my focus, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with it. I think it keeps going out of focus. So I'll try and keep my hands out for a minute. So yeah, it is absolutely, it has easily made its way up to not only one of my favorite Benchmades that I have, but one of my favorite knives in general. I carry it a lot, both when I'm at home, when I'm at, matter of fact, this has made its way into my, I carry a lot of knives at work. This has now made its way into that. It replaced something. I don't remember exactly what it replaced, but this is now one that I carry all the time at work. I carry it a lot when I'm at home. I really love it. Like I said, not a bad thing I can really say about it. So yeah, it's if you like the bug out but want something that's a little more tactical looking, for one, a little more tactical looking, has this little extra feature with the pommel on the end here. You want something with the Tanto blade shape, you know, for a few bucks more, you can get this one. And this one is this one's S30V steel, and this one is 3V. So you know, two very different steels, yet very good steels. Okay, so you know, it all depends on what you're looking for. I would absolutely recommend this one. I would absolutely recommend this one. Okay, so it all depends on your personal preference. So in conclusion, I would absolutely not tell you, no, do not buy this knife. It's awful. It's junk. I would tell you, if you're interested, if you like it, if you're a little hesitant about it, looking for a good review of it, here's your good review. Okay, you've got thumbs up from me. Pull the trigger on that one. Get you one. Guys, thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out my Instagram. It's @PalmettaEdge. And y'all have a good one.